All right, speaking of awesome, none other than the wonderful Sam Crosby joining us here, labour to his bootstraps, but we'll forgive him. And he sits here in the Man Cave each and every week, having a chat to a man who's well and truly national to his bootstraps, technically LNP, but we know it's national. None other than the great Senator Matt Canavan, of course, joining us now from Rocky and Yeppoon. So, let's talk about the treatment that was rolled out today, the giant pantomime that was played before us, which was everything is okay, everything is reconnected, everything is great with China, yet I've listed uphill and down Dale while I am uncomfortable with this giant performance. Matt, I know that everyone who earns $1 out of China and everyone that's got some sort of connection to it as to why it's the big future for their business says, oh, amazing days, amazing days. I just think about the helicopter that they almost blew out of the sky, and I think about the fact that they still have the blueprints to the ASIO headquarters, let alone the email details of the Australian Federal Parliament. But please, welcome, sir. Welcome.
Well, thanks for having me, Paul. And I just want to quickly shout out to McGregor there. Great that you're going there. I played cricket for the McGregor Cricket Club in my youth. They've got wonderful tartan baggy hats, not the baggy green, baggy tartan hats. It's a great cricket club. So you'll have a fun time there. Now, look, I mean, we still can't trust China, right? We all know that. We cannot trust them. There's a little bit of a facade going on here today. Apparently, government officials themselves were instructed to take burner phones to the meetings they were having with Chinese officials. I mean, that just screams friendship and and stabilisation, I think is the word right now, is it?
Yeah.
But I do want to take a bit more of a historical look back at this and say thank you to Scott Morrison, which not many people do, but he did stand up to China's bullying a few years ago. Certainly the Anthony Albanese government refuses to recognise the strength that Scott showed a few years ago when China tried to bully us. They tried to say they wanted us to change our policies. They gave us a list of 14 policy areas they wanted us to change, or else they wouldn't buy things like coal and barley and lobster and wine from us. And we stood our ground. And as it turned out, it hurt China a lot more than it hurt us. Within months, they were running out of coal and their power prices went through the roof. And so we should. The fact that we're here today is also testament to the strong decisions we made a few years ago. I do worry whether Anthony Albanese, if put in the same situation, would show the same backbone. I mean, today he couldn't even say a word about the atrocious behaviour of Chinese officials towards Cheng Lei. He said he couldn't see it, didn't see it, and so therefore couldn't comment. I mean, I hope tomorrow maybe he could review the footage and defend the Australian media and Australia's freedom of the press.
Well, I mean, look, this is exactly what he had to say. It's a carbon copy of the Prime Minister. Can I just ask you about the boat arrival that's just happened off Western Australia? Oh, sorry, my phone doesn't work in the car. You know, I mean, please, I couldn't be held responsible for what's happening right before my own eyes.
Well, I didn't see that. I saw Cheng Lei and we smiled at each other.
Well, then you would have also seen that there were people... You can't have it both ways here, Sam. You saw her and exchanged a glance of love, or you were able to see her and start to see her being blocked out by people.
Sure. I mean, look, I think to your point and to Matt's point, there are serious concerns with the relationship, but also there's a time and a place to raise those things. And the time and the place, as Peter Dutton would acknowledge in his speech, that was perfectly above board and perfectly amicable. You don't do it in the full glare of the public camera, public audience. You wait until you're, behind the scenes. You can have this. Unless
you just Gerard Dern, and you can do it on the grounds of Kirribilli House.
Sure, but with the thing today, I don't know what he saw and what he didn't see. I know what happened.
All he saw was a smile.
Sure, I don't know at what stage he saw Cheng Lei to do that, but yes, obviously what happened to Cheng Lei was outrageous.
So is he going to say anything, or are we going to get tomorrow in Perth? The cuddles with Andrew Forrest and all the rest of it, and quickly change the subjects and back to panda diplomacy on Wednesday?
Honestly, as sad as it sounds, I would imagine that's what you're going to get. You don't want to derail something like this that has been, for all intents and purposes, with this one very obvious glaring omission, a good trip that has gone some of the way to stabilising the relationship.
Yeah.